Okay, here's another passage from Scripture. It comes from the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also will reject you from being priest for me. Because you have forgotten the law of your God, I also will forget your children.
Ah, the government. It loves you and wants to keep you safe and well. It even wants to make paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you. How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one. From every birth certificate, a legal personality, or legal fiction, is created with the same name to confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So there's a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all spun from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when the police say, "Do you understand?" you'll say, "Yes." What they are really saying is, "Do you stand under our authority?" Oops-a-daisy, you just created a verbal contract with them. Oh, you clever government. Did you know that whenever you register something, you are handing over title to the person you register it with? That's right. Whenever you register something with the government, they assume it belongs to them. Registered your car? Super! Now you are the registered keeper of your vehicle, and the government can crush it when you don't pay your, straw man's taxes. Expecting a new bundle of joy? Well, then you need to register your little darling with a birth certificate. Then they can start the process all over again and create a new straw man for your little one. Isn't that great? So when Junior grows up, he'll be able to generate revenue just like you have. When you notify on your baby by signing the birth certificate, your child becomes a ward of state, and if the government doesn't like what you're doing, they'll assume it's okay to take the child away, or make new rules for things they don't like. Not enough school? Smacking your child? Shouting too loudly? Then it's off to social services for the little one. When you get a bill, it's sent to you, but belongs to your straw man, not you. That's why bills, fines, and summons start with Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Sometimes you'll see your surname in capitals, just like on a gravestone. That's because your straw man is dead, and just a silly piece of paper, created before you could comprehend or even consent to it. When you go to court, you represent your straw man. So you, the human, take on any costs, fees, taxes, and fines involved for the straw man. The human you doesn't even need to pay them. But you made a contract with the court by appearing on behalf of your legal personality or straw man, just like the government knew you would. Confused? Well, don't worry. The government doesn't want you to know anyway. If you knew, you'd stop paying things like council tax and parking tickets. Because when you go to court, you are representing your straw man. You are you, alive and made of flesh and blood. Your straw man, or legal personality, is a piece of paper created from your birth certificate. And you think it's you. What a silly Billy.
This is a certified true copy of my live statement of birth. You can get this by applying for it at the Registrar General. They'll give it to you. And it's very interesting because this is where it all began. This is the foundation document. All identification is generated from this document. And so if the foundation document is no good, anything that's made from it is no good. That means driver's licenses, health cards, everything. Now what they did here This is exactly what he meant when he said, soon every American will be required to register their biological property. And when your parents were tricked into filling this out, they allowed your spirit and your soul to be monetized. And futures were sold on you.
Spirit and soul.
Now, this is my birth certificate. This is actually a share. See this red number? This A, I'm born in Canada. This is a Class A share. Now, this is called a CUSP number.
Okay.
And all securities require a CUSP number. And that's what this is. And you are held as collateral to secure the debt which our government owes to international bankers. So you and me and all these people here are actually collateral. And we don't even own our lives. We are chattel. And we believe we're free. I made an application to the Registrar General, and I got my original social insurance application. Now, before they sent it to me, they put a little piece of paper over this before they photocopied it. Because my friend has his, and they didn't block this out, and when you hold it up, you see Bank of Canada. It is said that the best slaves are the ones who don't know that they're enslaved. And we all have invisible chains on us, and we don't know it. And so this is additional information that we've uncovered and we're trying to circulate. They couldn't enforce regulatory law over you unless they had jurisdiction over you. And you'll notice that any government identification that you have, your name is spelt in all capital letters. Okay, that denotes a corporate fiction. That's not you, that's a corporate. Every single citizen of Canada, when you look at Black's Law, it's this big law dictionary that all the lawyers use. And it says in there, person, the definition of person is a fictitious, it's a corporate fiction. Now, when you further read Black's Law, it says the only person known to Canadian law is the corporation.
Okay, I'm so excited because of that last clip. Because of this last clip, I'm able to elevate your education much faster than I was anticipating. So I'm going to read a little bit of scripture so you get an idea of who we are. This gentleman in the last clip says, we don't know that we're bound by these chains that are invisible. And I want to get you an idea on the spirits, basically, by going into God, what God was trying to tell you who you were or who you are, as opposed to all of society and their education of what they have taught you you are. Okay, this is from Matthew 16, and it's Jesus talking to his disciples. Okay, then he commanded his disciples that they should tell no one that he was Jesus the Christ. From that time, Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things from the elders, the chief priests, and scribes, and be killed and be raised on the third day. Then Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him, saying, Far be it from you, Lord, this shall not happen to you. But he turned and answered Peter, Get behind me, Satan. You are an offense to me, for you are not mindful of the things of God, but the things of men. That's important, very important. It describes that Jesus could see Satan inside Peter, trying to change his, or trying to deceive him. Okay.
Martina and her parents have been coming to see Padre Alfredo regularly for the past 6 months. The family has turned to the exorcist in an attempt to solve problems which have troubled their daughter since she was 8 years old. Although Martina comes to the sessions willingly, as soon as she enters Padre Alfredo's bunker, she suffers a violent reaction. For her own safety, she has to be restrained before the exorcism can begin.
Oh, tu all'inferno vai!
Prenda l'acqua, padre, prenda l'acqua, l'acqua, prenda l'acqua. Lasciami! Prenda l'acqua.
Sì, non ci ho pensato, ma
L'acqua, l'acqua,
non ci ho pensato.
l'acqua.
Sta buona? Sta buona, forza. Ci provo solo, ci provo nel nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo. Signore Gesù Cristo, Figlio di Parvatello Padre, Dio universo, ti prego il tuo nome, è di Cristo, è di Cristo, è di Cristo. Ecco l'acqua del Spirito Santo. Ave Maria, piena di grazia, il Signore è con te. Tu sei benedetta fra le donne. Murigno. Ave Maria, piena di grazia, il Signore è con te. Tu sei benedetta fra le donne. Benedetta Santa Maria, ma libera. Ma Maria, no, maligno, è Cristo più forte. Cacciali via. Di la verità. Di la verità a questa signora. Esiste o non esisti tu? Il demonio esiste o non esiste?
Esiste il demonio!
Come fai a dimostrarlo? Come fai a dimostrare che esiste?
Tutto!
Ma questo...
Io esisto! E chi non ci crede bene!
Ma questo...
That is definitely a little less subtle than what Jesus saw in Simon when Satan was trying to use him to disturb him what he was trying to say or teach. And Jesus tells him to get behind him, Satan. Here's another passage. I'm going to use a couple more pieces of passage so you can understand what we're doing here in this realm, dealing with Satan and his demonic possessions and his junior demons, whatever. Okay. It's John chapter 2, verse 23 to 25. Okay. Now, when he, Jesus, was in Jerusalem at the Passover, during the feast, many believed in his name when they saw the signs which he had did. But Jesus did not commit himself to them, because he knew all men. And he had no need for that anyone should testify of man, for he knew what was in man. What was in man. Okay, here's Luke 22, verse 31 and 32. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, indeed Satan has asked for you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, that your faith should not fail. And when you have returned to me, strengthen your brethren.
Your father has carried you.
I said it's not my father.
Who carry you?
I don't know.
But somebody carry you.
Yes.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Somebody you don't know, you allow the person to carry you. Why can't you disappear?
I am in somebody's body.
Oh, clap for Jesus Christ. Do you listen to that? For you to know that it's not a small girl. It's telling me things of the spirit. He say, I'm somebody's body. When I say, why can't you disappear? He say, no, I'm somebody's body.
Okay, I'm going to end the Control Freaks at part 5. I don't want to run any of my series past 5 parts, so I'm going to call my next series, Who Do We Think We Are? Part 1.